A little bit choppy up here. Hang on, let's switch to heading mode because the FMS is doing all kinds of crazy things. Just what was it again? Right, so direct to 23. There we go, switch back to nav. Let's bring the speed up because we're about to stall. Alright, so the autopilot was doing all kinds of crazy things and just managed to get it all settled down, so fingers crossed. Once we get to TL43 we'll get vectored onto the ILS. As we're getting close to landing, I'll bring the condition levers up to max, just provide us with the power when we need it. I'll switch to terrain as well, just because we are getting quite low now. Tower is 118.9, and so we'll just follow this heading until well, let's just get onto the onto the right heading, and then we'll switch over to heading mode, and then we'll switch the approach selection on. Let's pop 5 degrees of flap down. Swing the heading around and switch over to heading mode. And we'll switch the nav source to our ILS and click the approach just so it will lock onto the localizer when we get onto the right track. Just bring that speed down a little bit just because we're getting close to 200, which is our flap maximum speed for 5 degrees. Right, we'll just go through the landing checklist. So all the pumps need to be on standby. Condition levers we've kept at maximum. We'll bring the bleeds to minimum. And the flight attendants have just done their notification. So we'll follow the guidance, so 210. Obviously this was a rather bizarre approach, but Pro-ATC obviously isn't the perfect system because it's not human, but it'll do. We've got onto it eventually.
British 437, climb flight level 140, turn right, heading 040 degrees. Climb level 140 and head 040, British 437.
So I'm just keeping an eye on the localizer, and we're just, well, the localizer's actually here, and we'll just see when it comes alive. The Isle of May just up ahead. And we get the localizers just being detected, so we'll be moving in to intercept it. Once we're happily on it, we'll switch over to the tower frequency and get clearance to land. There we go, we've just actually been told to do it.
Standby brake, Gem 05 Mike, hold position. Holding 05 Mike. X472, taxi uniform, holding point Alpha 2. Liverpool Tower, hello, it's RAPEX.
Busy frequency.
RAPEX 630, clear to land, 210 degrees 19.
And we're about to hit the glide slope.
RAPEX 761, continue approach 1 ahead, 210 degrees 19. Continue RAPEX 761.
There we go, finally got butted in. So landing checklist, we'll do the landing gear in a second. But condition levers are at max, all the pumps are on, bleeds are at minimum, FA notification is complete.
Traffic.
There's an aircraft to our left somewhere. It's probably trying to land as well. Right, we'll put gear down, 10 degrees of flap. Bring that speed right down. I don't know how I managed to get so fast.
Traffic.
Oh great, there's a plane on final. Hopefully that won't muck up our approach.
Descend.
Yeah, race to the race to the runway. Alright, I'm happy to take control now. No, there isn't a flight defect. Right, okay, we'll just got to be careful not to put it on idle too much. It's a bit blustery today. Really hope that EasyJet's going around and not going to muck up my approach. So we're a little bit below the glide slope, so we'll just come up a little bit.
Level 3, Southwest, clear to land, 278. 1000.
conflict.
One is Beaver 296, 27 left, 6.5 miles.
Doesn't look very high if he is coming in for a land, but who knows.
Beaver 189 AFM, cancel line up clearance, report ready for departure.
And a bit bumpy as we get lower.
500.
Just
Light slow.
There we go, he's gone around now, thank God. Oh, just a bit of a gust bringing us over to the left.
Light slow. Light slow.
Speedbird 982 Golf, clear takeoff 279, wind 270 degrees 4 knots.
Stop.
Minimum.
Hold short.
Minimums.
Oh well,
100.
not the most realistic.
50. 30. 20.
BD639, clear takeoff runway 27, 250 degrees 16, runway down.
So a typical hard -8 landing. Yeah, Pro-ATC really doesn't manage the traffic all that well. Sometimes it gets it right, but sometimes it really doesn't. We'll just idle the
Scandinavian
props.
526, pull out on the right, and after the departing Lufthansa A300, line up 27 right.
In fact, I don't know if it's airport dependent because I always find problems with Edinburgh Airport and traffic, AI traffic problems.
Contact ground on 121.75, 121.75, EE840.
Just clear the runway and then we'll switch over.
Just crossing the control zone boundary now, no height restriction. Cleared over the height restrictions at pulls over.
Turn off the landing lights and turn on the taxi lights. 121.75. Bring the flaps right up. So flaps up, radar we can turn off. Nope, what am I doing? Radar off. Transponder with flick to standby. Flaps we've got to zero control lock, wheel gauge, just so we don't go too high. Let's turn off all the pumps. Yaw damper we can turn off. Main bus to tie. Ice protection we can turn all off. And the APU we can get going. If you're being particularly efficient, we'd obviously do that a little bit later. So, not that one. I wanted GSX. You don't need to follow me, I know where I'm going for this one. Groupie Air France. Fit that to taxi actually as well. There's the old fire test plane for the fire department. So the after landing checklist, we've turned off the radar, transponders as required, flaps at 0, control lock on, auxiliary pumps are all off, yaw damper is off, flight taxis on taxi, lights as required, main bus is on tie, ice protection we've all turned off, APU we've turned on, and we'll just turn on the generator just so it's available once we switch the engines off. Is that a United BA 146? I didn't realise they even flew to Edinburgh. Could be fictional. Get 8. Get 9. Gate 10. Doesn't look like like they use a Marshall at Edinburgh with GSX because they've got these automated parking monitor things, which you'll see work in a second. So I don't know if that was intentional or how it works, but the automated thing works just as well. Just to make sure you're nicely lined up. So you can see it working now, just kind of counting down. Although I'm not a Boeing 737, obviously. Stop. So put on the parking brake. Power levers to disc, which they already are. Condition levers to start feather. And by the way, if you want to, I should have mentioned this earlier, if you want to bring both of them down together, you right click on them and hold. No steering we can turn off. And then transponder we've already got to standby, pumps we've already turned off, seatbelt signs we turn off. And bleeds to minimum, which they already were. So parking, external lights all off. Leave the logo light on, just because it's quite nice. Should have turned that anti-collision light off earlier actually. Seatbelt signs already off, no steering is already off, pumps are all off, power levers are on disc, external power and APU are all ready to go. Bleeds minimum are off, emergency lights we can turn off. Nope, other way. Ice protection's all off. Condition levers to fuel off. And then the batteries will leave on. And we'll get deboarding. So I think with the Edinburgh Airport, you do get some catering services and things that do automatically pop in. Personally, I don't particularly like them, but there might be a way to turn off the control panel. I haven't actually checked. So we'll get the passengers off, and then we can open the cargo door open so we can get rid of the seatbelt. Get rid of the suitcases. And once that's done, I'll show you the securing the aircraft checklist, and then we'll be finished. So that was the last bags off the plane. So get rid of these warning lights. Parking. We'll go through the Securing checklist, the parking brakes is on, emergency lights are off, recirculation and bleed switches are off. Ice protection, just turn off these as well. It's all off. Anti-skid off. You turn the displays off, but they go off the power interior exterior lights. So turn off the logo lights. Turn off the no smoking lights. Turn off the APU. And the dome light if we have it on. And then turn off all the batteries. And that's it. All powered down. So thank you very much for watching my first ever full flight and almost tutorial, I guess, of the Majestic Q400. Please subscribe if you really enjoyed these videos, or like or comment if you have anything to add in the sections below. And I'll see you next time. Thanks very much.